As an energy healer, I have worked extensively with clients who have come to me with blocks around setting boundaries and trusting the boundaries they set. Setting boundaries are how we safely navigate this reality and our personal relationships, but it's no easy task. In this video, I'm going to explain the importance of setting boundaries and show you the different types you can master in order to protect your energy. A person who is very sensitive to energy and easily absorbs the energy of the people around them is commonly referred to as an empath. They feel it all. Empaths have the hardest time setting boundaries and speaking up when a boundary has been crossed. Sometimes an empath can be so overtaken by another's energy that they are unaware of how much of their will, power, and energy they have given away. For more information on how to thrive as an empath, you can watch my video called How to Navigate a Spiritual Awakening. It's a good one, trust me, and I'm wearing a cool blouse in it. When we don't check in with ourselves, we don't know a boundary has been violated until after the fact. We often fail to set small boundaries that lead up to offensive violations that then call us to set major boundaries at times where we're not used to using our voices. This can make us feel helpless and completely void of our personal power. We can take back our power as soon as we realize that we are always in control of ourselves. And by setting boundaries, we can assure that we honor what feels right in our bodies. The key to knowing when a boundary is violated is by listening to your emotions. Listen to the feelings that come forward and the physical reaction you get in your gut. When you listen to your emotions and you practice feeling them, you will be able to better tell when a boundary has been violated. Betraying a personal boundary happens when you ignore the emotions that are trying to guide you and you find yourself saying that you knew better, that you felt uneasy about a decision, or you knew it wasn't coming from you. One usually feels anger, shame, or embarrassment after this happens. It is important to understand that the experience of betraying a personal boundary or having a boundary crossed by another is an experience in growth and learning that every soul needs and wants to have. This is part of the journey, and it's nothing to feel bad about or judge yourself over. We are given an infinite amount of chances to act from our inner wisdom. When we don't act from our inner wisdom, we feel the heaviness and compression in our body. Self-betrayal is an indicator that we lack the courage that is required for self-love. When we have self-love, we can trust what we are feeling and let it guide us, even if it displeases or loses the approval of others. Self-trust is an important initiation into self-love that our souls are here to learn. These two states are intrinsically linked, and boundaries are one of the ways through which we learn. Only you know what your authenticity feels like and when you're not living from it. The more we feel our emotions, the more we're able to identify what they are communicating to us. For example, growth doesn't always feel comfortable. In fact, it rarely feels comfortable. So not every uncomfortable emotion we experience is a sign that our boundaries are being violated, when it could be an indication of expansion occurring in that moment. That's another reason why it's important to be able to determine between the need for a boundary to be put in place or whether we are breaking through uncomfortable barriers and expanding our perception. Only honest self-inquiry will be the way to tell for sure. What you honor on the inside is what will show up on the outside. When you respect yourself, you show other people how you would like to be treated, and you also mirror back to them how to respect and love themselves. It's a domino effect that the world needs. If we want to live on a planet that respects and honors life, we have to set the example by how we treat ourselves and how we allow others to treat us. I invite you to change the way you think about setting boundaries. If you're afraid of confrontation or engaging in a toxic dynamic, then your boundary can be set through the energy you withdraw from a situation or pattern. Now, if you are in a violent or abusive situation, this is something that requires you to take action by seeking protection or moving to a place of safety. Standing up for yourself is an essential boundary, and you will know when you need to do so. Allow yourself to be creative when setting boundaries by addressing the issue from a new perspective, one that you haven't tried before or just seems too simple to work. For example, A boundary we may not always think of is silence. Silence is a powerful boundary. Not being baited into giving your energy to situations and people that drain you communicates that you are no longer participating in someone else's unconscious turmoil. In this age of fast communication via texting, email, and social media, it's easy to get pressured into forced interactions. Oftentimes, a person will persist and force interaction because they unconsciously need validation at any cost, no matter how forceful they appear. We cannot let others arm wrestle us into interactions we don't want to give our energy to. Silence communicates, I am not going to sign off on the role you assign me. Boundaries are a form of medicine. Sometimes silence is the best medicine, and other times it's a firmly vocalized boundary. These shift from person to person, especially if there's a major gap in the level of consciousness and awareness between you and who you're interacting with. If you're dealing with someone who's never truly done shadow work before, determine what medicine is needed for both of you. Maybe they'll get the lesson through your silence or through how firmly you assert your boundary. Over time, you will learn how to become your own gravity and not get pulled by the force of another's. Through your own gravity, you can will yourself to what you need for your peace and who you need to become for your peace. Setting boundaries is how we show the universe what we can do, because the universe responds to our intention and our action. We need to show the universe that we value our boundaries by trusting them. Moreover, your boundaries need to come from your inner truth, and they need to serve you and your inner child. For example, if you do something for someone out of guilt, you show the universe you come second. Then you attract the lesson of proving to yourself that you love yourself enough to say no to someone. We can set boundaries through our actions by what we don't say, but most of the time, we need to vocalize our boundaries. What we voice into reality is very important, especially when confronting people who think you don't have a voice or who don't want you to have a voice. We reclaim power through our voice anytime we have been silenced or afraid to use it. We reclaim lost aspects and parts of our soul who weren't allowed a voice. We speak for our ancestors who weren't able to say the things we are able to say today. We heal past lives and clear karma just by speaking up for ourselves and occupying our space. To learn how to reclaim your power and voice, you can watch my video called How to Activate Your Throat Chakra. You'll be confidently speaking your truth and happily setting boundaries in no time. Change is another boundary that can be seen by our actions. People expect us to act in a certain way, perhaps in a way they've been programmed to act, and what they expect out of you. When you change the way you act or go about doing something or make a major life change, it sets a boundary of personal freedom. It says that you have taken control of your life and you are not going to bend to the expectations that have been put on you since birth. Doing things your way, even if you're doing it alone, is not only a boundary, but also a declaration of free will. Decision making is also a boundary. If you feel pulled between two choices that you need to make, making a decision sets off a course of action for what you want to create and for what you stand for. Believing and trusting your actions helps establish a boundary, while standing by your decisions is the boundary. Moreover, if you are in a situation where you are dependent on another person's choice, taking the initiative and making a decision sets an important boundary in establishing your voice, your preferences, and your confidence in steering the course of events in your life. The key is to make decisions that come from you, not ones you're forced into. Being yourself is the ultimate boundary. It is the highest act of self-love and worthiness. It is an announcement to the world that it must negotiate itself around you because you are not the one that will be compromised. Confidence is a boundary. It is a state of harmony where you have made a decision and you follow through with it using your actions and words. Even seeking clarity on an issue or seeking clarity prior to making a big decision is a boundary because you are questioning what is being presented to you and defining and understanding it to meet your needs. You are the gatekeeper to what you let into your life, and anything that helps you sift through the dirt is a boundary that will help you find the gold in any situation or experience. The important thing is to try to not over-intellectualize boundaries and what will happen next if we set them and if we don't. This all stems from a fear of punishment that will be suffered for creating a boundary, which is a good indication you probably need to create that boundary. Try not to get caught up in a storm of thoughts that cause you to distrust your actions. We need to learn how to make decisions and set boundaries based on how we feel, and we need to master trusting how we feel. When you are in control of your boundaries, you get to determine how far you need to expand them and when you no longer need to consciously set them. When you trust yourself, you allow your own energy field to be the boundary that people respond to. When we are confident, grounded, and connected to our feelings, we allow our energy to introduce ourselves, and we allow ourselves all the room we need to honor our personal truth and the boundaries that reinforce our self-respect.